Okay. All right. So while you're in Supta Baddha Konasana, which I love that word because it's like the only one I can say really fast. So from here, you can just settle in, close the eyes, and start to tune into your breath. And just notice the rise and fall of your belly as you're breathing. Soften the belly so that you have that freedom of movement. You're not holding on to anything. And just start to listen to your breath. Just bring awareness to your breath. Notice how it rises and falls. Notice how the belly is like a little balloon that fills and then empties. Let go of any thoughts that might be interrupting or needing your attention. You can see your thoughts like clouds. They appear and then they just drift away again. There's no sense in fighting the thoughts that come into our heads. That's just how the human brain works. So we recognize them and just let them pass by. And maybe do a little body scan and just notice how you're feeling all over. If you have any achy spots or any areas or muscles that are bothering you, just notice that and you can let me know later and we can work on it. And then start to lengthen the breath. And what I mean by that is to deepen the breath and see if you can get your exhalations to be a bit longer than your inhalations. And notice what that feels like to breathe with intention in that way, to breathe purposefully. And just imagine how all that fresh air coming in is new oxygen coming in and bathing your cells in on that new oxygen. And your cells are constantly expelling what they don't need. So every in-breath is fresh and new, and every out-breath is just getting rid of what you don't need, what the body has no use for. And I think today we'll start on our backs. So since you're there already, just gently remove the blanket from underneath the spine and take your time with that and then get comfortable again.
On the floor, I think, because
Yeah, I'm fine.
the bed will be too big.
Unless I fall on top of you.
Well, that's why I think we should be on the floor. We don't have far to go.
You're gonna bring the knees in towards the chest and give yourself a little hug.
Am I sitting up? Or...
No, you bring the knees, you're on your back, and you bring your knees up.
Yeah,
to
Rock a little bit side to side. And then bring your feet back down to the mat, keeping the knees bent. Arms are by your sides. And from here, press the feet into the mat and pretend like your pelvis is about to lift up off the mat, but don't lift the pelvis off the mat. Just notice the muscles that engage when you try to do that. So usually we call them the rectus abdominis, so it's the lower abdominal muscles. So you'll notice that when you press the feet in and try to lift up, you'll notice those muscles engage. So go ahead and engage them. And then release. And then we'll do that again. We'll press into the mat, engage those lower abdominal muscles and hold. Don't hold the breath, just the muscles. And then release. And then one more time as you inhale. And then release as you exhale. And then bring the right knee in. You can clasp your hands around the shin and then extend the left leg. Just bring the knee in and keep the deep breathing. And then on your next exhale, whenever that is, don't have to match with me. We'll lift the head up, bring the forehead to the knee. Inhale. On the next exhale, we'll simply roll back down. And we'll inhale again. And lift up as you exhale. Inhale again. And then slowly release. One more time, we'll inhale. Exhale as you bring your forehead to your knee. Inhale again. And slowly roll back down as you exhale. Then release the right leg. Bring the left leg in, hug the shin, and then extend the right leg. We'll pull that left knee in towards the chest. Then we'll inhale. And as you exhale, we'll bring the knee and the forehead together. And then inhale again. On your next exhale, we'll roll back out. So we'll do it just like we did on the other side. We'll inhale on the mat. Exhale and roll up, forehead to knee. Inhale again. And then exhale and roll back down. Last one, inhale. Exhale and bring your forehead to the knee again. Inhale. And exhale and release. And then we'll inhale again. And release. And bring both feet to the mat. Do you have your strap handy?
Nope.
You don't need it, but if you have a strap or a belt, that's great. And from here, we're going to bring the right leg in again. This time, we're going to clasp the hands behind the thigh. The knee can be bent here. And we're pressing our heel towards the ceiling. But if you have kind of tight hamstrings, you can press the toes towards the ceiling. If you have a strap, then you can put the strap around the foot. It doesn't make a huge difference, whichever one works for you.
Mhm.
I'll use my strap since I have it. And then just using the breath for full, deep inhales and exhales. And then extend the left leg so that it's straight. And keep that foot up towards the ceiling. Now, if you can reach, again, this depends on the length of your arms and the length of your legs. If you can reach the toe, great. What I used to do when I didn't have a strap, I would hold on to my calf muscle. So wherever you can hang on with the right hand, and this is where the strap comes in handy when you do have one, you go ahead and take the right leg out to the side. I'm going to move over before I hit my table. Put your left hand on your hip just to make sure your left hip isn't rolling off. And let the right leg come down as far as it comfortably can. And just stay here and breathe. The knee can be bent if you need it to be, of course, always. And then slowly, we're going to start to take the right leg back up, back to center. And then a little bit over to the left, to the other side. And you'll definitely feel this in the hip, I'm sure. Slow deep breaths. And then slowly start to bring your leg back to center. Release both legs and bring both feet to the mat. Knees bent. Then go ahead and take the left knee back in. And then extend the left leg. And you can clasp your hands around the back of the thigh or use a belt or a strap. And again, either press the heel up towards the ceiling or press the ball of the foot towards the ceiling, depending on what your hamstrings feel like. And then from here, go ahead and extend the right leg so the right leg is straight. Full deep breaths. And then with the right hand on the right hip, go ahead and start to take the left leg out. The knee can be bent as much as it needs to be. And the leg doesn't have to come down all the way. It will let you know when it's had enough. You could even put a block under the leg if you'd like, but I don't really think it's necessary. And then we'll just breathe fully and deeply from here. Soften the belly. And then slowly we will start to bring the left leg back up to center. And then keep going so that the left leg starts to reach over to the right. You'll notice you probably won't be able to come down as far on this side as you did the first side, but that's okay. And then slowly we'll start to bring the left leg back to center, releasing the strap. Both feet flat on the mat with the knees bent. And then this time press into the mat with the feet and the legs and let the pelvis lift up off the mat. So we're coming into bridge. Full deep breaths, using the strength of the legs here. And on your next exhale, slowly start to unwind the spine by letting it roll back out on the mat, one vertebrae at a time, until the sacrum becomes flat. And then we'll hug the knees into the chest one more time and do a little back and forth rocking. And then from here, place your hands just on top of the knees. And in this next one, we're only going to use the hands as a guide, but I want you to try not to use the hands to push the legs, because I want you to be using your lower abdominal muscles for this. So we'll just place the hands on the knees. And basically, you're just going to inhale as you bring the knees in. And then gently bring the knees out as you exhale, and bring them as far as it takes to get the thigh bones perpendicular to the ceiling. And then again, you'll bring the knees in on the inhale. And then as you exhale, the knees go forward. So from here, I want you to just synchronize the breath with the movement. We're going to do a few rounds of this. Knees in as you inhale and knees out as you exhale. This is really good for the lower back. So I'll have you do a few rounds and then I just have to run and switch something off. So this pose is called Apanasana, and it's really, really great for the lower back. It's very gentle. So you get two things. You get a little bit of stretch in the lower back, and then you also start to strengthen the lower abdominal muscles at the same time. Then we'll do 2 more rounds. And then after the second round, we're going to do 1 more side-to-side rock. And then if it feels okay, we're going to rock back and forth a little bit. And this will give your spine a little massage. And then eventually, when you're ready, we'll roll up to sitting. Great.
It didn't fall on me. Control, dear. It's all about control.
So from here, we'll just sit cross-legged, or you can sit with one heel in front of the other. Then move any flesh away from the sit bones. You can feel the sit bones in the mat, or you can even sit on your blanket. If you sit on the blanket, you give yourself a little bit of lift. It helps the pelvis. I'll sit on my blanket. Excuse me. Then from here, we're going to inhale the arms up towards the ceiling. Interlace the fingers and press up as you exhale. Inhale again. And then exhale and lower the arms. We'll do it again. Inhaling up. Interlace the fingers and exhale as you press up. Inhale one more time. And then exhale and release. And inhaling from here. And then exhale and cross one arm over to the knee and turn and look over the opposite shoulder. Lift the chest a little bit as you inhale so that we straighten the spine. And then twist a little bit as you exhale. And on your next exhalation, we'll slowly turn back towards the front. Inhale again. And then exhale, we'll cross over to the other side. And again, we lift the chest slightly as we inhale and turn and twist as we exhale. And your next exhale will gently turn back towards the front. Then we're going to take our hands in front, tent the fingers. And from here, just start to walk the hands forward. You'll feel the spine lengthen a little bit. You don't have to come too far, only as far as is comfortable and as far as you can go while keeping the spine straight. We don't want the spine to curve or round. So for some people, that means only going this far. And that if that feels good, then that's fine. That's all you need to do. But if you feel the hips coming off the mat, that's when you want to back up a little bit. Maybe even pressing the hands into the mat so that the hips can press back down. Chin is slightly tucked here so that we can elongate the cervical spine as well. And it should feel a little bit like traction. Depending on how far you've come, make sure that the biceps turn inwards a little bit towards the ears. And then slowly start to walk yourself back up again. And from here, we'll inhale the arm up. And then slowly start to walk to the opposite side with the other hand on fingertips. You can even press the hand into the mat so that your ribs don't collapse. This way, if you press into the mat, your ribs will be up and over more. And then reach across. Full deep breaths. And then we'll inhale. We're going to come up and around. And then plant that hand and come to the other side. So we'll walk the arm over and then press the hand into the mat so that the ribs don't get smushed. Full deep breaths. And then we'll inhale, press up and over again. We're going to come to the first side again. And then once you get into a good spot, you're going to turn the body and look down. And then feel where that stretch comes into the shoulder blades now. Full deep breaths. Really reaching forward so you can articulate that stretch and you can feel those muscles moving and elongating. And then on the next inhale, we'll press into the mat, reach up and over. And then one more time on the other side. So we'll get comfortable in the reach first and then turn and look down. Take full deep breaths. Feel the stretch along the right side of the back, where the shoulder blades are and below near the ribs, around the ribs. And then we'll inhale, press into the mat and come up and around one more time. And then from here, we'll take the legs out in front. Keep the feet flexed, but feel free to bend the knees, and you could even put a rolled up towel or blanket under the knees if you'd like. And then we'll inhale the arms up overhead. And then fold forward as you exhale. So it doesn't matter where your hands land. Wherever they land, they land. And we'll just take a few breaths here. And then slowly we'll start to make our way out. You can bring your hands to the floor and just walk yourself up from here. It's a pretty easy way to do it. And then keep the knees bent and the feet flat on the floor. I'll turn a little so you can see me. Bring your hands to the floor behind you with the hands pointing towards the hips. And we'll inhale and come into a reverse tabletop. This is harder than it looks, so do the best you can. Full deep breaths. And then slowly lower. Inhale. Exhale. On the next inhale, we're going to lift up again.
You're pushing it back.
Now, if it doesn't bother your neck at all, you can let the head hang back. I personally like to keep my chin tucked. It's safer for me because I have neck issues. So just listen to, your body will tell you if it likes it or not. If your neck feels funny, just bring the chin, tuck the chin, and then slowly lower again. And then from here, bring your hands behind your thighs, and we're gonna lift the feet up off the floor. So we're gonna do this in stages. This is for your abdominal muscles. So you can just stay here and breathe if this feels comfortable enough. And then if it's possible, if you wanna take the arms out by your sides, just don't let anything crunch down. Keep the chest lifted. And then if you wanna straighten the legs any amount, you're welcome to do that. But again, you can stay right here, holding the backs of the legs as well. That's always an option. So this one can be taken in stages. Full deep breaths. And then release. We'll take a full inhale and exhale. And then we'll come up again, hands behind the thighs, bringing the legs up. And again, you can stay here and breathe. If this feels like plenty of work for you, then just stay here. And if you need a little more, then you can take the arms out or take the legs straight, whichever. And if there's a little bit of trembling happening, that's okay. And then we'll come back up again. From here, we'll take the legs a little bit wider than normal. And this is another good one that you can sit on the blanket. It will help you more in the pose. And like I said earlier, the knees can always be bent whenever we do any forward folds. I actually recommend it because you know, a lot of people have lower back issues. And a lot of people have tight hamstrings and calves. So if you leave the legs out flat and you take these forward bends, it's really easy, if you're not really flexible, it's really easy to pull a muscle in the low back.
Mhm.
So if you keep the knees bent, like I said, you can roll up a towel. You could even put the corner, maybe the corner of the block underneath. That's another option. And then the feet are fully engaged so that the toes are pointing up towards the ceiling. So this is actually a wide-legged forward fold. Usually we come down, grab the toes, but today I want to reach back. And you can press your hands into the blanket or the mat behind you, lift the chest just to lengthen the spine, and then slowly start to pitch the body forward, very slowly, while keeping the spine straight. Easier said than done, and you may not go very far. Full deep breaths, keep the belly soft. And allow your body to let you in a little bit at a time with every exhale. And you will notice that after a few breaths, the upper body does start to come forward in small increments on its own, just by relaxing. And then very slowly, we'll start to come back up again. Okay, remove the blocks. Actually, we'll keep the right leg out and we'll bring the left leg in. And keep your block handy in case you need it. And again, if you want to put something under the knee, go ahead and do that. Then we'll inhale the arms up, turn towards the extended leg and fold forward here. So here, your head is probably not going to come all the way down to your leg. I mean, it might, it'll be cool. But what you can do though is take your block, place the block either on your shin or on your thigh, and you can rest your forehead that way. You can try it in different ways. You could even put the block next to your knee. There are different ways to play with that. If you're resting your forehead, it's just an easier way to get more out of the pose. If your forehead is able to make contact. Full deep breaths. And we'll slowly start to make our way up, and you can do what we did before with the hands on the floor and just walking them back up slowly. It's just safer for your back. And then we're going to switch sides. So the left leg will come out and then the right leg will come in. You can have your block handy for the other side so that you can maybe rest on the block somehow. Then we inhale the arms up overhead. Then we turn towards the extended leg, because this is not just a fold, this is a twist and a fold. So we want to reach up first and then come into the twist part, and then slowly lower the forehead. And take some really long, soft, deep breaths here. And allow your body to relax into this particular pose. Very slowly, bring your hands back to the floor and we'll start to make our way back up to sitting. So from here, you have a couple of options. So if you're able to cross both legs and stack one knee over the other, that's one version of this. Not a lot of people can do this version. So the other version would be that the crossed over one, the foot is flat, or you can have one leg out in front of you and cross the other one over. So the knees are still lined up. And if that is not comfortable, you can also bring one foot to the upper thigh. So you choose whichever one of these works for you. Now we're going to take the arms out. And then whichever leg is on top, it's the opposite arm that's going to come in first. So for me, I have my right leg on top, so my left arm is coming in first. We're going to hug ourselves first. So one elbow is directly above the other. Okay. Now you can stay here, keep the spine straight, and breathe. Or if you can bring the arms so that the forearms are against each other, you can press the arms against each other, or if you can come all the way around so that the palms are facing each other, that's another version of it. And then from here, just breathe. This should feel pretty intense in the backs of the shoulders. And you can play around with this one a little bit. You can try bringing the elbows forward slightly. That'll definitely intensify it. But if you're fine where you are, just stay there and breathe. And if, like I said, you can either bring the elbows forward or not. And the other thing you could even do is maybe raise the elbows up higher or a little lower and just explore some of the sensations that come with it. But generally speaking, this is enough. We call this one's eagle arms. And we'll just stay here and breathe. Could even bring your thumb or the knuckle of the thumb to the center of the forehead. Full deep breaths. Keep the belly soft. And then slowly start to unwind the arms. And then we lower. Take your time, and then we'll switch sides. So whichever version you did on one side, you can do it on the other side too. And you'll probably notice one side is clearly tighter than the other. Mm-hmm. And which side that is for you, I don't know, but I know mine are definitely different. And then we're going to inhale and take the arms out by our sides. And then as you exhale, you're gonna bring the opposite arm in. And again, you can either stay here because this is a good stretch right here, or you can go into one of the other versions of it or options. And we'll just stay here and breathe. You can explore here or not, it's up to you. And then slowly we'll start to release. Bring the arms out by your sides and then back down. And then slowly we'll start to unpretzel, unpretzel ourselves, move the blanket, and then we'll come on to hands and knees.
Hands and knees.
You might even want to put something underneath your knees if you need to, like a blanket. Depends on if you're on the carpeting or on the floor. So from hands and knees, the head stays up, so the gaze is past the mat, and we'll take the right foot behind us. So now we're on the ball of the right foot, you know, on the mat.
Close to the bed, I think.
You know, I was tripping over my words for a second there. And then press the heel back so you can feel the stretch in the back of the leg.
Mm-hmm.
Full deep breaths.
You don't have enough room here.
And then take the right leg behind the left onto the side, the outer edge of the foot. And we're going to look over the left shoulder and breathe. And then slowly turn around and release. And then just look at your legs real quick and make sure that your legs are hips width apart. And then we'll take the left leg back onto the mat on the ball of the foot. Gaze is just past the mat. Take a few breaths here and start to press that heel back. And then this time we'll take the left leg behind the right onto the outer edge of the foot, and then just looking over the right shoulder. And we'll bring that left leg back to starting. Then from here, inhale the right arm up towards the ceiling. And then exhale and bring the right arm underneath the left. And bring your head and shoulder to the mat. So this is a supported twist. Feels really good. You can't mess it up. There's nowhere to go. So the left hand is on the mat next to the face. You could actually walk the arm forward if you'd like, or you could raise it up towards the ceiling. Could obviously leave it where it is too. You could raise it up towards the ceiling or wrap it around the waist. You could even just rest it on the lower back, your choice. We'll just stay here and breathe. And then we'll bring that left hand back to the mat, next to the face. And then press into that left arm, and we'll come up and around. And we'll do the other side. So we're gonna inhale with the left arm, and then as you exhale, the left arm goes underneath the right, and you come to rest on the head and shoulder. And again, take whichever option you would prefer. You can walk the arm forward. You can leave it on the mat. You can raise it up towards the ceiling, rest it on the lower back, or wrap around the waist. And just stay here and breathe. And then to come up from this, we'll bring the right hand back to the mat next to the face, and then press into the mat to come up. And you can come to sit on the heels. So we're going to take the knees a little bit wider than normal. And then we're going to come forward into child's pose with the forehead on the mat and the arms out in front. And keep the arms long so that you're getting more of a stretch in the spine. And if you want to create a little bit more traction for the spine, you can take your hands and come up onto your fingertips and see what a difference that will make. Some people like this better. Some people prefer to keep hands flat. And then lift your head slightly. Walk your arms over to the left as far as you can comfortably go. And then just lower the forehead and breathe.
That's a bit of a twist. Very gentle.
And then lift the head again. Walk your arms through center, all the way over to the right. And then one more time, lowering the forehead and breathe. And we lift the forehead, walk our way back to center, and then take your hands and walk yourself back up. From here, you're just going to bring your hips over to the side, and we're going to come onto our backs again. Just move this.
I think I'm done.
Okay. Go on the back. Okay.
I gotta have the mat. If you're not doing it, I'm gonna take them. Well,
We're going to take the left leg out and bring the right foot onto the left thigh with the knee bent. Left hand comes to the right knee and we're gently just twist over to the left. The right arm can be out by your side. Gaze can be up towards the ceiling or looking over the right shoulder. And then slowly release the twist. We'll come to the other side. So now the right leg is out. Left foot is on the right knee. The right thigh, sorry. Right hand comes to the left knee. And we gently twist over to the right. And the left arm is out by the left side. And again, gaze can be either up towards the ceiling or you can look over the left shoulder. Full deep breaths. And then slowly release, come out of the twist. Hug the knees into the chest one last time, and we'll do another side to side rock. And then whenever you're ready, we'll come into Shavasana. So we'll take the legs out in front. Let your feet just fall away from each other, and your arms are by your sides with the palms facing up. Eyes are closed or semi-closed. And come back to the natural rise and fall of your breath. You don't have to do the deep breathing anymore. Just feel your body making contact with the mat. You're fully supported here. You can start to let go and allow the feet and the legs to relax and feel heavy. Allow the thighs to relax and soften. Relax the hips and the pelvis. Soften the abdominal muscles. And allow the back to stay relaxed, allowing for that little lumbar curve to just be where it is and not try to flatten it. And let the arms feel heavy, like they're just kind of sinking into the mat. Relaxing the shoulder blades, making sure the shoulder blades are moved down the back enough. And softening the chest muscles and the whole area around the heart. And relax the neck and the jaw. And release the tongue if it's stuck to the roof of the mouth. And then finally relax the face and the scalp and all the little muscles in the face. So the muscles of the cheeks, around the eyes, and finally between the eyes. And very slowly, we'll start to bring our awareness back to the room. Maybe just start by taking a full deep breath. Wiggle fingers and toes. Maybe even taking the arms up overhead and giving yourself a full body stretch. And bringing the feet onto the floor by bending the knees. And slowly rolling over to the right. And making your way up to sitting. And we'll close our practice with hands in front of the heart. Thank you for coming to practice and thank you for showing up for yourself. May you be happy, may you be healthy, may you be free from suffering. Namaste.
Well, I feel good and limber.
Awesome.
I have to tell you, I've definitely gotten more flexible.
All right.
I could actually put my forehead on the block, which I could not do last week.